And Iran continues to protest. Thousands of Iranians are back on the streets despite a deadly crackdown and a threat of death penalty. And this comes as U.S. President Donald Trump has said that U.S. is ready to help Iranians achieve freedom. The 2 weeks of demonstrations have posed one of the biggest challenges to the theocratic authorities who have ruled Iran since 1979. Crowds gathered again on Saturday in the north of the Iranian capital, setting off fireworks and banging pots as they shouted slogans in support of the ousted monarchy. Video shared on social media showed crowds gathered in Konak Square in Tehran. They chanted anti-government slogans and "Long live the Shah" as fireworks erupted overhead. The internet is down in Iran, and phone lines have been cut off, according to the U.S.-based human rights activist news agency. The death toll in the protest has now grown to at least 116, while over 2,600 people have been detained. Authorities have reportedly arrested 100 armed rioters in a town just outside Tehran. Iran's Attorney General has warned anyone taking part in protests will be considered an enemy of God. The charge comes with the death penalty under Iranian law. Meanwhile, in London, a protester briefly replaced the flag of the Islamic Republic of Iran on its London embassy with a former flag. A video posted to social media showed a man replace the flag with one used during the rule of the ousted Shah. It stayed in place for several minutes before being removed. From abroad, a familiar name is trying to shape the moment. The exiled son of Iran's toppled monarch, Reza Pahlavi, urged Iranians to go further, calling them to seize the city centers. He also pressed Iranian workers to launch a nationwide strike.
Our goal is no longer merely to come to the streets. The goal is to prepare for seizing the centers of cities and holding them.
U.S. President Donald Trump said on Saturday his country was ready to help the movement. A day earlier, he had said that Iran was in big trouble. Trump wrote on social media, and I'm quoting, "Iran is looking at freedom, perhaps like never before. The USA stands ready to help." A U.S. media report said that officials are discussing how to implement President Trump's warnings. The Wall Street Journal, citing insiders, reported that the Trump administration is reportedly drawing up preliminary plans for an attack on Iran, and this could include large-scale airstrikes. The report added that there is no consensus in Washington on a specific course of action yet. And to understand the situation, we earlier spoke to Iranian journalist Youssef Jalali on the ground situation in Iran. Now, here is a detail that he gave.
The protests took a real turn on Thursday night after those calls issued by the exiled Iranian Crown Prince Reza Pahlavi demanding that the Iranians take to the streets and dominate the streets across the country, and also demanding a mass coordinated chants across the country. This mass mobilization led to this increased violence on the streets, and we saw that heavy clashes and confrontations between security forces and Iranian demonstrators on the streets of Tehran and also across the country. Now, we can literally say that the protests are now very much violent and are not limited to certain places or regions. It is now nationwide. 31 provinces are all engaged in and are the scenes of heavy clashes between protesters and security forces. You can see tires torched, public property damaged. You can see bus stations set ablaze, or even some police vehicles, firefighting trucks, all blazing on the streets, and this looks very much like a battlefield. And this this of course followed those calls by Reza Pahlavi asking the Iranians to, of course, vent their anger at the Iranian government. But of course, the Iranian government took some actions to try to harness the situation, calm down the situation. One of the reasons is to restrict internet access. Of course, it may seem ironic, but the Islamic Republic government now said that it wants to calm down the situation because it believes that foreign intervention and foreign statements by Western leaders like the United States President Donald Trump, and of course some comments by the Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu, those calls and those statements made by those leaders, they believe that they fanned the flames of the unrest. So they said that they decided to calm down the situation by restricting the public access to the internet. And since then, a nationwide internet blackout or shutdown has been witnessed and continues to be imposed across the country.